Hey folks, welcome to Kaisers Kastle. Today is going to be a fun little piece that I wanted to put out for a while. There probably will be a piece tonight that I'll put out with a brother, a continuation and a finalization of the things we missed on CERT. Expect that later on this evening. It'll be with the same gentleman, Dan. What I wanted to get into today was the realities of monitoring people, both Elint and Humint. And, you know, there's all kinds of speculation, people wondering, you know, this, that, and the other. I'm going to try to clear some things up. I'll start with the Elint first. Elint is short for Electronic Intelligence, NRO, NSA. CIA has it. Army. DOD, everybody has some form of Elint, and you know, I'm not going to get into specifics. You know, I can go all the way back to Classic Wizard, to Harp. I can go into Carnivore, to Prism. I can go into all that, up to and including Mavericks, Dukes, Dagon, Facial Rec, you know, but those are all realities. Those aren't fantasies. But the more important one with electronic intelligence, people always forget that DARPA, Peter Thiel, and several others gave seed money to Facebook. Then you got to look where the seed money came from. Twitter. You have to look at YouTube. I'm on every one of those platforms. But the reality is, you will give more information than they can actually get, even with Humint. We'll get on that here in a little bit. But what they can find is all those sources I just mentioned. That's clear data mining. So they're just using what you give them freely. The only thing that you don't think you're giving them is when you PM people. And that gets swallowed up too. There are certain places that were clean at one time that they're now dirty too. They're monitoring that. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but a lot of people think they're smooth using different forms of gaming communication stuff. And well, that's all encompassing. I mean, remember, Five Eyes is real. Five Eyes are the English speaking countries that share communications. So when people find out they're banned in a country like England, well, it's because they got the information from the US, and what they'll do is they'll just put it in their thing. And once you get hit by them, what you don't understand is you're also going to get hit by TEX, Treasury Enforcement Communication System. And so when you come back to the US or to Canada, whatever home country you're at, don't think you're not. If you're waiting for a while, that means you're on a list. You're being monitored, you know, for whatever. They're not going to tell you. Don't expect them to tell you. But that's just the rules of the game. You know, it's big boy rules. If you put yourself out there in any methodology, it matters not. They have that information. It depends on whether they take an interest in you. If they take an interest in you, then what did you do to cause them to take that interest? These are the kind of things you have to think about. Or were they looking, you have to think, were they looking at somebody a couple levels away from you, a couple circles, it's drawing circles, and just like Amway, think about it that way. I wouldn't be surprised if the creator, I can't think of his name now, to come to me, he also outed the NSA spying. It'll come to me, sorry, I'm old. But he's been honest about it. It's about concentric circles. And just like Amway would try to scam you, drawing circles to show you how you'd make money and become an upline, it's the same shit. It's no different. So what they do is a flat ass. If they don't got you, just like look at what's going on with Mueller and Trump. They used one guy to be able to collect on everybody. This is basic. I'm basically giving you a basic training on this. And you can go more in depth. I could go more in depth and might in future things, but I don't really want to. Now, with Elint, what that gives them the ability to do, on mere suspicion, okay, they don't have to have PC when they go to a FISA court, probable cause. They just need mere suspicion, and that's what they did with homeboy that they were looking at, Carter Page. That's what they did to him, and then they were able to spy on everybody. Is that right? No, but that's their justification, and they can do it. Look, he who has the gold rules, and he who carries the gun will enforce he who has the gold's rules. That's just reality. We all see the kind of society we're growing up in, or our children are growing up in now. Not we did. We had a more free society, but it doesn't change the realities of today. So it means you have to wake up and spin up and be quick enough to understand what's going on. With that being said, once they've done that, then they can activate Humint. Now, if you're out of country, they could activate Humint on you at any time. That's just the way that ball bounces. And sometimes they don't even have to do that. They can just use Elint to, you know, shove a nice little rocket up your ass. They've done that before. Remember Obama? I'm pretty good at killing people. Yeah, yeah. He didn't kill anybody. He's a joke. You know, everything about him was I. So narcissistic. But whatever, he's gone. It's happy days. But with Humint, there's different methodologies of, first, the gray man concept. I did 2 podcasts on that, and I still have a couple more to go with a couple other people, because I'm going to make this very clear and concise, and I want you to have as much information as you can, and just from hearing me will not make it clear and concise, because I like to have somebody else to bounce off of, because I have a hard time staying focused, because I want to put too much out at once. So with Humint, what I will tell you is easy ways to check yourself. We talked about it before, just ancillarily, but walking by plate windows, going through your town, or, you know, shops that you frequent, looking at the response from people when you show up, and you think look, just because you think you're being watched doesn't make you crazy. You might be being watched, but to be paranoid about it is retarded. Live your life. Don't let the bastards grind you down. But what I will say is, and it's very, very basic. All you have to do is realize everything you do in this culture. And the young, I think, are more comfortable with it than the older folks. And it's because they grew up in Snapchat and all this other stuff, where everybody's putting everything online. I mean, shit, when I passed out at a party when I was 14, nobody took pictures of me and put it on the internet with dicks drawn on my face and stupid shit like that. That's the reality the kids grow up with today. We didn't have that. You know, worst case scenario, somebody took a Polaroid of some stupid shit like that and it got around to your immediate friends who laughed at the joke. With Humint, what you're going to find is they're going to leave a footprint as well as you do. America, thank God for open, empty spaces. These people that stay in cities are very stupid, because any cars can blend in. You could have a cavalcade of cars behind you, and you would never know it, because you wouldn't be paying. Even if you were paying attention, they can pop in and out behind cars, turn one way, radio communications, pop in another street. Your memory's only going to be so good. But you go out into the countryside, that puts them on skylight, and you can see it better. Same with going to coffee houses, wherever, bars. You go in, you think you're being followed, whatever. Go in the next day when that same person's working, or the couple days later. That person will either tell you, yeah, some dude came in asking questions, or what they're going to do, and even if they're threatened, they'll still say that stupid shit, because that's just people. Civilians don't care. The other thing that's funny to me is you'll gauge their reaction. They may not say shit, but they'll look at you odd. And you, like I said, you have to go places where you're known, where you have a decent relationship with folks, and gauge their response. And that will confirm for you. Also, memorize any of the same faces you've seen before, because they always will reappear. I've seen it in my own personal life where, boom, oh wow, it's nice meeting you again, man. Well, I haven't seen you in years. Yeah, guess why? Because I was being investigated. But that was back when I was still working for the government. You know, that's just how they do. You know, if they're bored, they investigate you. You can't worry about this shit. It's funny to me how much people do worry and do a lot of things that are really overkill in some aspects. But, you know, to be fair, I respect that. That's their business. It's not mine. But what I will say is don't allow yourself to become a slave to it, to become in fear of it. It's just the way this natural world is working right now. Live your life freely. Don't worry if you get a text hit. Don't worry if you got this, that, and the other. You're going to wait a couple hours, whatever. Nobody that I know is doing anything criminal, nor will they. It's ridiculous how the government is acting at this moment, but it's because right now, what you're seeing, and I've said this before, in the IC, you have an open civil war. And that always precludes a hot civil war for the populace. Realize that's a reality. Don't worry about it. Don't stress it. You're a regular guy or gal. To worry about such things just screws up your own life. So what, they know everything about you? Who cares? In all honesty, you're not going to be able to affect it one way or the other. And realize they're going to smear you. They're going to call you everything. That's why I tell everybody I meet, you got to agree and amplify. If they say you're the worst open-legged whore on the planet, you got to say fucking A, and I'm better than anybody else. They say you're whatever, a Nazi, whatever. Yeah, I am. I'm not just a neo-Nazi. I'm an ardent Nazi. You got to agree and amplify, because even though it may sound ridiculous to you, you have to do it, because otherwise you give them the power. You know? It boils down to, do you want to control your narrative of your life, or do you want others to control your narrative? Do you want others to be able to dictate who and what you are? I'm a regular guy, no better, no worse than any other man. And so are you. With that being said, like I said, this is just ancillary, cursory, showing you some praxis of how all this stuff fits together. But in the end, you have to know what you're doing and be able to adapt and overcome to it. Anywho, shove out.